welcome back to my, I think it's the third video right now, but it's week 4. I think we're in week 4 right now, so yeah. I did a little break for week 3 because, and you maybe might have seen this in my community post, week 3 was basically just me going to language school, and I already told you that it was from the afternoon till the early evening, so there wasn't much I could do that week. I really tried finding interesting stuff to film and to talk about, but somehow there just wasn't anything interesting coming up, and that's why I decided to not bore you too much, or that's why I decided to make the little poll. And you guys decided that it would be better if I just skip a week and then collect more materials for a longer video. And that's what I did. And I think the next, this and the next video will definitely be packed. I'm a bit late with editing and stuff because it's super hard here to get any form of privacy to record a voiceover like this one, for example. And I don't know if you can tell, but I'm in a karaoke room right now. There's the entertainment system, and I also sang something, but yeah, that was the only way I could find a room to just talk for a while and not be bothered by other people. So yeah, that's what I did. I hope it gets better once we move to Osaka to our own flat. But yeah, right now we're still in a hostel. Before that was the share house. And for the last week, I lived together with another roommate because all of the rooms were kind of fully booked, and because we extended our stay, they couldn't let us room together anymore. So yeah, I had to move out to another room, and that was a bit awkward, but it was fine in the end. It was a good roommate. We didn't talk that much, but we also, I think, we didn't get in our way. So I think it was kind of mutually just living alongside each other, and I think that's already more than you could ask for, especially considering what kinds of people sometimes live in a share house. So I consider myself kind of lucky. Monday was a bit special because we had to go to the city hall, or city office I think it is called, because we had to do some paperwork. It's a bit difficult to explain, but yeah, it has to do something with the national pension that someone has or has not to pay. And yeah, we had to go there, fill out some paperwork, and it was kind of nerve-wracking because we, of course, didn't know what was expected of us or what was coming our way. But luckily, everyone was really, really friendly. Also, the process was super fast. When I go to the city office in Germany, I have to book a slot in advance, and sometimes you won't get one for several months. And we asked, do we have to schedule an appointment or something? And the organization told us that no, we can just go and take a number and then wait. And that's what we did. And I think we were in and out in around 30 minutes, which I think to everyone from Germany hearing this might sound extremely crazy. But yeah, we just went there without an appointment number, and although the person behind the counter didn't speak any English at all, she had, I don't want to say a translation device, because she just selected the language and then basically video called a translator that did real-life translation for us, and that was really cool, I thought. I'm not super sure how this complies with privacy laws and stuff, but I was just happy that someone could explain the technical stuff to me, so that's totally fine. And after going back, we had some time, but in the afternoon I had booked, or rather my friend booked a slot for us at a pop-up cafe from my dress-up darling in Ikebukuro. I will show you right now, but it was really cute. It was kind of small, and honestly I didn't expect too much, because the thing with pop-up cafes often is decoration is really cute, but the food often is not that good. But yeah, the decoration was cute, and I think the food was good too. My friend had this whole strawberry themed plate, and I had the pancakes and also a nice soda. And of course the cool thing is, when you go to a themed cafe, they give you lots of merchandise. I also got the button that I really wanted wanted because there were 2 pink ones, I think, and I got one of the pink ones. So yeah, really happy, and also really cool to like go to one of these pop-up cafes, because for the time I was there wasn't much going on from any animes that I knew, or I might have missed something. There was one cool collab with Madoka or Magica, but this was on the Sky Tree, so I would have had to pay the entry to go up to the Sky Tree to see the pop-up cafe. And as much as I like the anime, I didn't really want to pay that. It's like, I think it's 20 euros, and that was a bit much, so I decided not to do it. But yeah, we had lots of fun there. And then I am thinking if we did anything else. I don't think we did. I think we just walked around for a bit afterwards and met with friends and bought something, but I think that's about it. Tuesday was pretty cool too, because we went to it's called Rinkai Disaster Prevention Center. I will show you where it is, but it wasn't too far away from us. I think Tokyo has several locations where you can get educated for cases of disaster like earthquakes or tsunami. And I think there's the famous one that's called Honjo. It's in Tokyo. I think it's not far from the Tokyo station, but we went to Rinkai because it was closer to our share house, and I think both are free, which I think is really, really cool, because it's very important, especially if you live in Japan for longer, that you're educated on your behavior in disaster situations. So we went as a group because I thought it would be cool to take everyone along to also get educated, because I think all of us are going to be here for the whole year. And although I don't like to say it, but the possibility of an earthquake happening is quite high, even if it's not like a dangerous earthquake and nothing will happen, but you'll probably bound to experience it one time or another. So I thought it was a good idea to just go together. And yeah, we had a little tour. It started with some kind of simulation, which was super scary, because they really built a whole, like, how can I say it? You enter by going into a simulated elevator where an earthquake happens, and then you go out and the light is flickering and stuff, and you have to find your way out to the emergency exit. And then you stand on a street that they also like built, and it's like all torn. Some of the houses are broken or completely collapsed. There's a fire simulated, and the whole noises around you, it's very immersive, but that's what makes it kind of scary. But you always have some kind of tour guide with you and a tablet that tells you what to do or where to go, so it was kind of easy to follow along. The guide spoke in Japanese, but on the tablet we had explanations in English, which were totally fine. So yeah, follow along with the tour, and when the tour ends, you have time to explore the rest of the prevention center, where they give you really good tips. For example, which things you should buy as a preparation, where you should put these things, all kinds of stuff I never thought about, especially like if you buy an apartment, how to make this safe from earthquakes and all stuff like that. I think I will just show you, because it's kind of difficult to explain. And what I really liked about this prevention center is that it was very like inclusive for every sort of individual circumstance. I think they had some tips how to cope in case of disaster. And I thought that was really cool. So you had, for example, a section or tips for people with hearing aid, then with visual impairedness. Then you had something for example, for trans people, what they can look out for if they are in an emergency shelter, for example, or if you're in the wheelchair, if you're pregnant. So difficult or circumstances that make surviving or living in disaster conditions a bit more difficult. And I thought it was really cool that everything of this was considered. Yeah, we finished the tour, and I think we learned a lot, which was really important. And also, as I said, it was free, so it was a total no-brainer. I think, I don't know how much time we spent there, probably around 2 hours. And then we headed to Akihabara because we wanted to buy some souvenirs, and because some friends of Jill wanted some miniature cars, and because they're much more inexpensive here in Japan, we got them also. I think it's kind of cool. We had a miniature of a Japanese car, or I think it's a model car rather. You can build them yourself. The glue and stuff is not included, but it's probably easy to get. So yeah, we bought those and just looked around for a bit, and I think that was a really, really nice way to end the evening. I got some yummy takoyaki on the way, and we also went to an arcade, but not for long. It was just while Till and his friend were looking through some card stores, and that's how we basically spent our time on Tuesday.
Actually, I almost forgot to talk about one of the most fun parts of this evening, which was doing purikura together with our friends. And I don't know if you know purikura, but it's some kind of photo booth that edits you a ridiculous amount, so you look really alien-like, but I think that's part of the fun. Also, after taking the photos, you get to decorate them together. And so you have a really cool like keepsake from the day you went out together, and because my friends didn't know that yet, I had to show them. It's kind of a tradition for me. Every time I went to Japan, I did this, and I think it's a very common thing also for Japanese people to do, so I thought it was really fun to show everyone how to do it. And yeah, I thought this was a super cute activity, and now we have our memories in our purikura.
Then on Wednesday, I wanted to go thrifting because I heard that in Shimokitazawa there are a lot of secondhand stores, that you can find very cool clothes there, and that they have cute bars and cafes. The weather was really, really good. It was super warm. And I have to say the shop designs were really, really cool. Every shop felt like kind of a different world. I have to say though, I felt like a lot of the vintage stuff there was kind of overpriced, and I kind of know that from Berlin, where certain vintage clothes are really overhyped, I want to say, and that's why they cost a lot. I really thought this wouldn't be the case in Shimokitazawa, but sadly it was just that. And also I felt like most of the clothes were really like Western style, or yeah, not many J fashion stuff. Maybe I just don't know where to go shopping enough for the like real J fashion clothes, but I remember finding cool stuff at Book Off when I lived in Fukuoka, but yeah, sadly I didn't really find anything. There were one or two cool stores which were in vintage though, and I think at one of them I also bought a skirt that I wanted for a while. It's not a certain brand or anything, but it's a form of skirt that I've wanted for a while, so I bought that and just enjoyed the atmosphere because it really felt like getting out of the city. It was really quiet, although there were people there, but I don't know, it had a nice atmosphere. When we looked for lunch on our lunch break, we found a vegan cafe or a cafe bakery sort of thing, which was the first time I found something like this in Tokyo. I have to say I didn't look too much because where we lived in Kiba, there wasn't much going on in terms of vegan food, and I didn't want to drive like an hour or two just to go to a restaurant. So I was kind of happy that we found this kind of organically, and I spent quite a lot of money there because I was so happy to find something where I could just eat everything that I wanted to. And yeah, I ended up getting sweets and pizza, so we were set for, I think it was 2 days, and it was really delicious. Everyone else also thought that the donuts were really good, so really, really recommend going there if you're ever in the area. On Thursday, we did a little day trip to Atami. That's because you will see they have a sort of kind of early blooming cherry blossom. And I heard many people or read many people online typing comments like, no, that's not cherry blossom, that's plum blossom. But no, I have the evidence that it's really a cherry blossom because they actually have some sort of tags on the trees, because I think there's a lot of people that really can't believe that there are cherry blossoms blooming in February. Or I think this might have been still January, I'm not totally sure, but I think it was the beginning of February. But yeah, you do have cherry blossoms that bloom in late winter or early spring, and basically they bloom all the way through May, because cherry blossom season in Hokkaido, for example, starts kind of late. So yeah, we went there and we looked at the cherry blossoms, which were really beautiful. I think we missed the full bloom by a few days, but they were still really, really nice to see. And also Atami is a really cool, it's a small city, but it kind of has a retro charm to it. So you can walk around the coast or the sea line, and you can also take a ropeway up to Tami Castle, which we also did. And I don't know if I remember this correctly, but it seems like this castle was built later on. And I don't know if it was built for the Godzilla movie or if the movie just happened to also be at the castle for a part. I don't know, I haven't watched the movies, but yeah, apparently it is kind of special for that reason. It's also kind of small. They do have like a small castle exhibition, and on each floor you can do a different thing. But the funniest thing is that they had an arcade at the bottom. And the cool thing though is, and that's why I kind of recommend it, because every arcade game in there is free. So you can basically try out different arcade games and you don't have to pay money for it like you would have to normally in other arcades. I guess it's fine because you still pay the entry fee, but I thought it was really cool, a cool way to keep the guests there for a little longer. But yeah, because it's on a hill, the view over the sea and the city was really, really great. So yeah, I can definitely recommend that. Then we did a little lunch break. We just walked around for quite a bit and then made our way to the plum garden, which is there. Also, there weren't many trees fully blooming yet because it was a bit too early, but we walked around through the city, saw a lot of the city, and could look at some pretty blossoms too. So yeah, I think it was a good day. We ended up walking around quite a lot that day because Atami is very like, there are many hills and slopes, and we walked a lot uphill, but it was really cool. So yeah, my time here is already up, but I just wanted to finish that kind of thought here. So yeah, we ended up having a good day in Atami as a day trip. I can really recommend it if you're going to Tokyo and you're looking for a day trip that's not overly crowded like Hakone or Kawaguchiko. We also went to a kind of renovated ryokan, which is basically, ryokan is a traditional Japanese lodging type of accommodation, and this was a very old but very like big one, like a mansion that had also a very, very elaborate garden. Sadly we couldn't film, but as always I'm going to show you a few photos. And I learned that when I want to show something, I can just move out of the side, so I don't have to do like an awkward transition here. But yeah, as I said, I really would recommend Atami if you want to go somewhere else. And I think it was the first time that I ever went to Shizuoka Prefecture. So yeah, it was a good time, and I'm going to tell you all about the weekend next. On Friday, we didn't do a lot of exciting stuff because we had to pack for our trip to Hokkaido, and that's what we did. But before we went to the coin laundry because I think it was because the laundry machine at the share house was still in use. And also, maybe fun fact, I don't know if anyone knows, but most of the washing machines in Japan only wash with cold water, so 30 degrees Celsius at most, I think, which is kind of cold for me as a German, or at least because I always wash my stuff at 40 degrees or like bed sheets or so, even more. Don't think that's possible with every washing machine here, and that's why we sometimes went to the coin laundry. They also have a dryer because the share house only had a kind of tumble dry, and that doesn't always work. We wanted them dry kind of right away so we could pack, so we did that. And I think we just hung out and chilled for the rest of the day, which was kind of necessary because we were on our feet for the whole week basically, and it was cool to just have some time to chill out and do nothing. Saturday was our last full day in Tokyo, which we wanted to spend with our friends, and we finished packing our luggage, and then we went to Ikebukuro because we wanted to go to another arcade, and not only for winning plushies or something, but we all wanted to try some rhythm games, which I think are really fun. It was kind of crowded as always, but it was really, really cool. I tried some new games and also some that I already knew, and I didn't remember how exhausting it is to do some of these games because it's not only pressing buttons, but you kind of have to move your whole body. So yeah, in case a gym membership is too expensive for you, you can definitely invest in going to the arcade every once in a while. That's kind of good cardio as well. And yeah, we finished the evening by going to karaoke with our friends, and we had a lovely time. We booked free time, which means that you can be there as long as you want, as long as you order for, I think, 1,000 yen or maybe less even per hour extra. So you have to order drinks or food for 1,000 yen so you can stay. Yeah, I think we were there for 4 hours, and I think we each didn't spend more than 15 to 20 euros, which I think is a great price for like open-end karaoke. It was kind of sad because it was our last day, but we had so much fun, so it wasn't that bad to say goodbye. And yeah, on Sunday it was our plan to go to Sapporo, but just to give you a little cliffhanger, just to make it a bit more exciting, we're going to see the rest in the next video. Yeah, again, if you watched until here, thank you so much for sticking with me. If you liked it, consider giving me a thumbs up or subscribing to my channel, and I will see you in the next one. Bye bye!